Hey everybody, it's your captain here with another episode of My Thoughts. And I want to give my thoughts on a couple of things that have happened in recent entertainment news. First, the sad news. Netflix. Yeah, and I'm sure most of you are like, oh, yeah. Fucking Netflix has officially canceled all of their Marvel properties with the recent announcement that they have canceled both The Punisher and Jessica Jones. Though apparently they are planning on finishing Jessica Jones season 3 and airing it sometime this year. But it's going to be like the goodbye. Like that is it. Once that's done, it's over. No more Netflix Marvel shows, no more Defenders, no more Punisher, no none of it. And that's very sad because those were some quality shows. I know a lot of people didn't like freaking Iron Fist, and yes, Iron Fist did suck. And while I never finished season 2 of Iron Fist, it did seem like it was getting a lot better. So it had potential, and then all the other shows were great. Daredevil was awesome. Luke Cage was awesome. Jessica Jones was amazing. I haven't seen season 2 of Punisher, but season 1 of Punisher was great. And from what I understand, season 2 is pretty damn good too. It's just sad to see it go, all because Netflix doesn't want to give Disney the money for those properties anymore. They just want to focus on doing their own thing and, paying themselves, which I get it. It makes sense. You don't want to have to give money to a competitor when you can just have your own stuff and do it yourself and give the money to yourself. Especially when Netflix's model, like, they are spending money at a ridiculous pace, so I get it. I really do get why they have decided to do what they're doing and getting rid of the shows like that, because the way they're spending money is freaking ridiculous. And they're going to need to cut costs wherever they can, and considering Disney's about to own a majority stake in Hulu and release their own streaming service, Netflix is like, you know what, we're going to need any last little bit of money we can get. I bet they're really hoping Roma wins that Best Picture Oscar to legitimize them as just legitimize them, because it'll give them the appearance of something quality. Movie critics and whatnot will stop looking down on Netflix like, oh, it's just another online streaming service. They don't make real movies. But, them getting rid of Marvel really calls into question whether or not I want to keep my Netflix subscription. Especially after the letdown that was the Godzilla trilogy. Like, I'll give them credit, it was original and it was trying something new and different and a different take on the whole thing. It just was poorly executed. Other than that, you got some points for doing what you did, but if it ever comes out on Blu-ray, I'll just buy the Blu-rays and never go back on Netflix. Now, there is the announcement that they're doing actually, this was announced a while ago, but like they're doing Ultraman 3D animated series, which you have my attention. It's based off the manga, which I've only read the first collection, but I was very interested in, and sooner or later I'm going to track down the rest of it. I stumbled onto it in a comic book shop, and I was like, you know what, this seems interesting. And I've been getting not been getting. I've gotten into Ultraman in recent history, and I'll take any little tidbits of extra stuff I can get when it comes to that. But for the most part, I'm gonna really miss these Marvel shows. And apparently, the president of Hulu has said, "Hey, they could always come live here." Or something along those lines. I'd have to look up. I'm pretty sure anybody listening to this doesn't care that I'm not a professional reporter. I'm just a dude talking about stuff he likes and the things he's heard. And I don't like hearing this, but I also like that Hulu's like, hey, we wouldn't mind taking those shows. And apparently, there's a deal or there's something in the contract that Netflix did that nobody else will be able to make those shows for at least another 2 years. Yeah, it is what it is. So if I gotta wait 2 years to get some more of those Defenders, that's fine. As long as we get more of those, give all those actors a chance to branch out and do something else for a little bit and then come back. Maybe get a fresh perspective on it. Don't care. As long as I end up getting it again, it's fine. But I'm disappointed in you, Netflix. So disappointed in you. And yeah, that's all I have to say on that. You haven't lost my subscription yet, but you canceled these shows, and there's no more new seasons of Voltron. Freaking, you better be giving me a lot of good Ultraman stuff, or coming up with some other things, because I don't care about some of these other things you've been doing. I don't. So come up with some stuff, or I'm gonna move on and save myself the $11 a month and apply that to something else. I'll watch Crunchyroll, goddammit. They got my money. And plenty of anime that I have never seen. But on to other news. And I don't really think it's news, but I want to talk about it because it got my thought juices going, especially if you haven't seen in recent history that I did a top 5 potential MonsterVerse cameos, like the kaiju in the Toho-verse that I was predicting would show up in Godzilla King of the Monsters, which comes out this year. Excuse me. And there was a recent TV spot that dropped that revealed more of the two titans that they teased a bit, but not too much. Specifically the one who I thought was Kumonga with the claws coming out of the ground and whatnot. And then the one I would have sworn, up and down sworn, that it was Anguirus, the mountain monster. I would have thrown money at that, but a recent image, which I'm gonna try to get it and throw it up on the screen here, appeared the monster, the mountain monster is coming out of the ground, and you actually get to see an eye and what looks like some skin texture. And while nobody knows exactly what this thing is, I personally think it's Biollante. It's just, there's something about it with the way the face in the eye is shaped. It's very similar to Godzilla in a way. And then if you look behind the eye, you see some of the skin, and it's got a root vein texture to it. It just reminds me of Biollante. And my God, I want this to be Biollante, because Biollante, if you've watched my top 10 favorite Godzilla movies, Godzilla vs. Biollante was number 1. Was it number 1? Yeah, it was number 1. Biollante is easily my favorite Toho kaiju outside of Godzilla. It's such a creative design and original, like hardcore sci-fi backstory. I, they're probably, if it is Biollante, they're probably not going to do the whole like it was a scientist combining plant DNA with Godzilla DNA and just go with their own thing. Or, the most logical thing and what most people seem to think is that it's just another original kaiju that they are introducing to the world. Which, all right, fine. I'll take it. Like, the Mutos were pretty cool. I enjoyed those. And if they're going to create original kaiju, the world could use more kaiju. There's nothing wrong with extra kaiju. But I just, oh, God. If it was Biollante, I'm gonna see about putting up a side by side image of that screenshot and then possibly like a Biollante shot like right around here, and you tell me what you think. And I want to circle back to the creature in the desert because I originally thought that was gonna be Kumonga, but I don't know, man. Like, there's a little part of me that thinks that it's the aggregate form of destroyer, or multiple aggregate forms of destroyer, because if you remember the Godzilla versus Destroyer, his little aggregate crab form, there was like a shit ton of them. It was like a legion kind of thing. Legion. Excuse me. Gamma reference. Anyways, I think that'd be pretty cool. I recently heard somebody, I don't know where, I think it was a kaiju transmissions podcast, where they thought, or one of them mentioned that they think that in the Godzilla versus King Kong movie, people have theorized that it's going to be Destroyer that Godzilla and Kong team up against. Which, hearing that, I kind of want now, because originally I thought, King Ghidorah, obviously King Ghidorah, but you got King Ghidorah coming out in this movie here, the one that's coming out this year. And if Godzilla defeats King Ghidorah in this movie, then what's the purpose in bringing him back just to get his ass kicked by both Godzilla and Kong? You know? Unless you do some Dragon Ball Z shit where he goes out into space and gets a power up and then comes back. So, the more I think about it, the whole Godzilla and Kong team up to defeat Destroyer would actually be pretty cool. Destroyer is definitely a fascinating kaiju and has potential to just be a horrifying presence on screen, like some kind of demonic, like, yeah, that's like an official term. But I don't know. It would be pretty cool. It'd be very, very cool. Godzilla and Kong. Though the visual image of seeing Kong fight King Ghidorah, like how he would do that, having to get in close and like close quarters combat with the multiple heads and stuff like that, like punching one and like uppercutting another or whatever. That would be pretty cool. But I don't know. I hope it's Destroyer. I hope it's Biollante. I hope we get fucking Biollante. If not, they're probably both original kaijus. And like I said before, that's fine. You're going to give us original kaiju. Give us original kaiju. Give us something we ain't seen before. Give us a new toy to collect, because why not? That's what it's all about, isn't it? Yeah. So I don't know. You tell me. Who do you think it's Biollante and Destroyer that are going to make an appearance in King of the Monsters? Or do you think it's an original kaiju? Do you think it's somebody else? Do you think it? I've seen Baragon floating around. I've seen Kumonga. Who knows? Excuse me. Let me know in the comments below. And if you've made it this far, thanks for listening. And hit that subscribe. I don't care if you hit the bell. This is not that kind of YouTube channel. Because I don't post regularly. It's very infrequent. I do what I want when I want. And I'm not making any money because I'm sure you didn't watch any ads at the beginning of this. Because I don't care. All I want is to do my thing. So thanks for watching. And bye-bye.